and the art's never been turned into a sport. And so because it's never been turned into a sport, we do an extensive background check on anybody who wants to come in, because it's still taught with killing techniques.
Right, because ninjas are the assassins.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
They're trained to do legit damage,
Exactly.
not just defensive and stuff like that. It's like no. It's like,
Yeah,
we're trained to go out there and kick your ass.
yeah. But it's more of a, well, I mean, there are techniques that are attacking techniques, but the vast majority of it is a defensive art. And the reason is, you want to be inconspicuous, you want to be concealed, you don't want people to see you or know that you've done anything. And so it's funny because a lot of our techniques are masked within things that you would think that we're calling for help, but we're, crushing parts of your body.
Like what?
Like, for instance,
That sounds cool. Like what does that mean?
so my kids, what's hilarious is, and this is probably horrible to share,
Do it. Share.
so my kids, that growing up, they were always very well behaved, and it always appeared that they were just the most well-behaved kids, and they were just holding my hand. However, there's a point in your hand that if you just apply the right amount of pressure, it causes a massive amount of pain that shoots up your arm and causes your kind of almost to go blind.
Don't tell me you're doing this to your kids the whole time.
No. So what I do is I hold their hands and I literally just let my finger rest on top of the point. So they understand what the pain feels like, because I train with the kids. I teach them how to move, how to adjust, how to adapt. And so they know all of these points because I've shown them that these points actually cause pain. And so growing up, they would hold my hand and they knew, I dare you to do something silly, because it'll be so much pain so quickly that they won't be able to respond.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's instant, right? You just squeeze your hand.
like when you rip off a Band-Aid, that first shock of just pain,
Yeah.
but you don't have the ability, like there's no sound that comes out. And then as soon as you let go, the pain is gone and there's no sound that can come out, because you're no longer painful, or like you're no longer in pain. So it's one of those very confusing moments. And so my kids have grown up their whole lives, even now to this day, where if, let's say, they're acting up, I'll just walk by them and gently tap them, and it looks like, oh, he just, he just patted him on the back, and like my son's standing there like, I think I'm gonna die.
I'm paralyzed.
Yeah.
Death touch.
Yeah.
Dad hit me with the death touch.
Exactly. And so it's funny because I was just telling Carlos this the other day. So we were watching the news, and my son he was like, wow, Dad, the world is really scary. And so I told him, well, you need to be more aware of your surroundings. And he was like, oh, okay. And so then I walked away, and when I came back, I kind of did like a shadow boxing thing, but I went to hit several points in his body that would have caused him to die. And I looked at him and I was like, dude, you need to step up your game on defense. I just killed you 3 times. And he was like, what? And so what's been funny is,
Like, Dad, you're not gonna try to kill me for real. I know.
exactly. And so it's been funny because he's now getting a lot better to where, like, we'll walk past each other in the house and straight up try to kill each other. Just you've got no more than 5 moves, and you have to try to end the other person.
And how does that go over?
It always
What does
ends
your
up.
wife say? Stop trying to kill each other. Literally.
Literally, that's actually how we go.
We're here laughing about it. Like somebody actually died.
Yeah, like she's straight up like, sweetie, but why? I'm like, look, I'm not actually even touching him. And she's like, but why? I'm like, because he needs to be aware. I'm like, I'm messing with him so he understands where the points are. Like, but him just being aware of what's going on around him has made him a much better, more efficient sitter whenever he's out with people.
Interesting. Yeah.
Like, yeah, like,
thinking.
yeah, he's thinking a lot more critically about being safe with his sisters or with his friends or anything like that. And so a lot of times he's very much the voice of reason for his friends, but at the same time he's the voice of chaos. And it all started when he used to come with me to my dojo all the time, and our Shihan, our instructor, was like, do you think he'd be interested in, just trying? And I was like, yeah, sure. So we started to get him to play and do stuff. And then the next thing we know, we all sit down in class one day, and my Shihan calls my son up and hands him with a certificate, or a menkyo rather, from Japan. And I was like, what is this? And he's like, oh, your son is now the youngest recognized American ninja. And I was like, oh.
That's cool. How old is your son at the time?
He was 12 at the time.
Oh, wow.
And so, I shared that with him, and his head went so big.
He's like,
like,
I'm a ninja.
yeah. I'm like, dude, stop.